So to start, I felt like, first of all, again, a very warm welcome from the SKoko Center. As I said, my name is Tina Plokertz. I'm the Director for Environmental Art here at the center. And I'm very excited and you have joined me today. I'm very happy to have worked at the center now for roughly 1.5 years. And I'm really interested in pushing our program forward into an immersive multi-sensory experiences in the art. I really have high priorities in developing a program and making a program happen that can really weave artistic practices and activities into our organization's doing. So I thought give you a little bit of a roadmap what I will talk about. So first, what is the SKoko Center and what is art at the SKoko Center? Then a little bit about LandLab and its concept and goals. Then I will give you a couple of examples that you can also look up on our webpage. And afterwards, open questions for you all to that I can try to answer. The SKoko Center inspires meaningful connections between people and nature. We have a forest and fields of 340 acres, and we are there fostering appreciation, deepening of understanding, and encouraging stewardship in the environment. We have been founded as a nonprofit organization in 1965. And the SKoko Center has then begun as an operation as one of the first environmental education facilities in the country in a metropolitan area. Here you see where we are. We are not in Center City, as you probably have already gathered and seen. We are really on the edge of the town in Northwest Philadelphia. This is the SKoko Center, our former name, Schuylkill Valley Nature Center, when we were inaugurated by a group of activists, of environmental activists, to really deepen the understanding of how we are engaging with nature. And this is our property. This is the SKoko Center's land. You see in the middle of it, there is the road that goes onto the property towards the visitor center. And on the top of it is our nature preserve, where we are not having public intervention, mainly no public intervention. And towards the south, you see with these colorful trails, this is really our trail side where we allow public access and public interactions. And this is also where we do our environmental art program and engagement. Our environmental art program is one of the 4 core programs of the SKoko Center, and is really being aligned with these core areas and blending with that environmental education, land stewardship, and wildlife rehabilitation. So it's one of these 4 core areas we are working in. The environmental art program has started in around about in 2000, and since the last 10 years, we are also hosting in the visitor center an environmental art gallery. Besides our outside program, we provide opportunities for professional contemporary artists to investigate, innovate, and interpret nature of place. We really hope to incite curiosity for the natural environment and raise awareness for today's environmental issues. We believe that our site is a unique site and is in a way like a non-traditional art site with indoor and outdoor settings. where creatives can really collaborate and envision new site-specific installations, performances, and also events for engagement. All of that in connection with experts in the field of ecology, but also with multi-generational and multiracial audiences. This is what we aim for, and what also the LandLab Artist in Residency program is about. What we offer is at the SKoko Center can be described in 3 different terms: short-term indoor exhibitions, medium-term, mainly outdoor engagements, residencies, where also the LandLab Artist in Residency comes into play, but also long-term permanent projects like our rain yard artist installation that we have outside the visitor center. We really embrace the built, the social, and the cultural environment that humans are shaping and are being shaped by. Our goal is to understand the ecological systems and phenomena and address today's social ecological concerns, through which we are hoping to learn how to foster an acknowledgement and appreciation for the diversity of life on Earth, and create an attention for the interdependency between people and nature. But we also hope to encourage a participation that will not only be a collection of data, but really participation by audiences where they're being really shaped and have an environmental relationship and environmental sensitivity that can be developed. Our Artist in Residency program, LandLab, is to really break it down, restoring the land through environmental art. This is how we would describe it. And it's a residency that, 1 second, somebody else wants to join us. Welcome. Our Artist in Residency program integrates artistic creation, ecological restoration, and public engagement. These 3 platforms are really intertwined for us, and we are currently also in the year of restoration. So this LandLab Artist in Residency will be one of our signature projects also for this year into the next. We really think that thinking through ecological restoration through environmental terms and then into an public engagement for environmental education is really valuable into the future. Our beliefs and goals for art and environment hold here also true, what we believe for the artist, for the art program in general. We really believe that art can be a valuable tool for environmental education. So as you might think in traditional science also does that, but it's one way to give people data for scientific data, scientific research. But the other way, and this is what we also believe at the center, is art can be another way to open up a conversation into creative ways to connect people with nature and helping them to address and us to address today's environmental issues and challenges. So art is in a lot of ways, here we go. Art is in a lot of ways, no, there's one back. Art is in a lot of ways also a key to spark curiosity. And as I said earlier, we really think that all the artists are innovators in the field that we can learn from. Art is also a vehicle for tackling urgent issues of our time. In this non-traditional setting, we think art can help us to connect and reach out to people who have never been really interested in art or interested in nature, and make them aware of what's really going on around them. So art can be a low entry point, we think, where it helps us to connect to larger conversations. We really think that people can um, have the need to see and feel what environmental impact means, and how that can be changed in their daily lives. So art in general is a tool to deepen relationships with communities. And this is also strengthening that, because it's not only this LandLab Artist in Residency is not only about restoring land, but it's also about like, how do we communicate and how do we engage audiences in this process of discovery and knowledge building. So what we are looking for, and I wanted to share here also beforehand our webpage again. So SKokoCenter.org, Department Art LandLab program. You can find a lot more information there, and also about our former residency programs and residents. So please check that out, and like and read through all of these, all of these programs that we have done in the past. What we are looking for environmental for this environmental program is really an innovative installations and performative artworks. So whatever you can come up with that remediates environmental damage and creatively engages with audiences. This is we hope that this project, your project, and that you will maybe do with us, shine light on ecological processes that are currently being researched by scientists and ecologists or environmentalists, so that we can learn with each other and from each other. We really prioritize for this kind of residency time spent with us and on site. We know that this is a process of investigation, and we also know that whatever proposal is being sent is also due to changes in the course of the development and towards its final outcome. So it is really, we really believe in the idea of a lab, of a laboratory, for things can change and things can be tested, almost like a beta testing. The decision will be made by 3 jurors, local jurors, Genevieve Coutribes from CFEVA, our long-term partner, Rafael Damas of Taller Puertorriqueño, and Asil Rashid from Bartram's Garden. All of these jurors come from very different kinds of backgrounds, but that was important to us as a way of strengthening also the environmental field, as well as the artistic practice. So the decision is also being made not only on the ability to complete this project and its potential contribution to environmental practices, especially in environmental art, but also its artistic merit, what the artist can actually bring to us. So to close up, before I open up the Q&A session, I wanted to feature 3 projects that we have done in the past. My apologies for this, for one typo down there. We had the Weeds with Caitlin Pomerantz and Tia Levy was a project about invasive vines, where they have woven installations, have created woven installations that were the vines from our property were allowed to grow onto. It was this project has started a dialogue really about the global movement of plants and people, and how we are maybe should change or can change our idea about invasive species in our forest. Engagement with this project have been also reading sessions. The artist created a booklet, and they also did events with like botanical cocktails and creative weaving sessions with our kids and our student groups on site, including nature walks. Another artist and artist installation on site is the project by Jake Backman, Non-Future Object 1, also from 2014-15, which explores the cycle of forest soil and how invasive earthworms disrupting our forest. The artist has here created a sculptural installation that makes really the hidden process of decay, but also renewal visible. And with that, he has not only created this like interesting shape of sculpture, where it is currently in a very different stage of its life. You can still visit it on our property, but it is allowing nature to take back its side. So things are growing in there, things are living in there, things are going back into the forest. And through that, the artist hopes to change really the soil of our grounds, as it is a site that has been heavily under agriculture before it was built into or made into an environmental center. The artist has also in that time frame engaged with students and with audiences during the Science Festival in Philadelphia. We have been formally engaged with the Science Festival at the SKoko Center, and we'll see if we are doing that again also into the future. And one last residency I would like to point out that is showing a little bit a different side of what is also possible is the performance project by Dance Exchange that explored Philadelphia's waterways through movement exploration. And it really integrated water data from the SKoko River and from our region into sonic installations, and you will see here on the upper left, but also into performances, dance performances, where audiences and students were activated to understand how the water flows. So all of that said, I think what we are really looking for LandLab is not only thinking through restoration practices in our forest, but also how we can engage with this kind of knowledge to new audiences in our region. And I would like to point here out also a couple of engagement and projects that the SKoko Center, the art department, has done in the last couple of years, besides Dance Exchange, where it was deeply engaged with audiences. We also have done last year, you might have heard about Al Mudif, an Iraqi guest house, where we invited Iraqis, veterans, and also the greater public to build with us with an invasive reed. Or another project, the Tapestry project, that was built on temperature data from Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and was made into tapestry, woven into tapestry in 2019. So that is for the moment all from my side. And I will now open it up to questions.